Recorded Books presents André by Jayce Ellis. Narrated by Pierre and Tony Isabella.
Chapter 1. André. It was only Tuesday, but my head pounded like I'd already worked 60 hours. My long-held rule not to drink until the weekend was being sorely tested by the man sitting across from me. To be fair, he didn't look any more pleased than I was, so we could both be pissed. I closed my eyes, prayed for patience, and plastered on the thickest smile I could muster. "Mr. Walker, did you bring the statements for your annuity and brokerage accounts?" The older white man blustered, his face turning as red as the plaid shirt he wore. "No, forgot about that one. You know my wife keeps all of these things." I knew. I wanted his wife at all meetings for this exact reason. Their retainer agreement said as much. But who cared about rules? Not this guy. "Can you get her on the phone? I'll step away and let you secure the statements here, then give you a more accurate financial outlook." He frowned, like the very thought was an insult to his manhood. "I ain't got time for all that. What about you tell me my financial outlook based on the numbers I gave you?" For all the good that would do. At our initial meeting, even though she'd remained mostly silent, deferring to her husband, a downright placid grin on her face, it was clear Mrs. Walker handled the finances. He'd gone red then, too, then showed up by his lonesome today. I didn't have time for the ego, and I wasn't doing this again. "Without a full accounting of your assets, it's impossible for me to run projections for you. I'd like to see you again in 3 weeks, with your wife." "Why?" "Yep, here by himself trying to play big dog. Wasting my time and his money. Mr. Walker, these are joint accounts, and you need to be jointly involved in making decisions on them. I'm certain you read that in your contract. Does Tuesday at 4 p.m. generally work well for both of you?" I didn't miss the way his knuckles fisted the brim of his hat, the way his eyes narrowed like the word boy was just itching to fall from his tongue and into the air. But he swallowed and nodded. I penciled it in, then scrawled the date and time on a card, sliding it into the dark blue pebbled folder embossed with Ellison Financial, my firm, my pride, in gold font on the front. About the only positive of this meeting. I handed it over, and he snatched it, trying to regain some sense of I don't know what. I tried not to smirk. He didn't like being told what to do, and damn sure not by my black ass. He stood, and I followed suit, holding my hand out until he took it with a grudging shake. He was out the door in a flash, and I leaned on the desk, closing my eyes and taking a deep breath. Now I understood why Harold, my mentor and friend, always held his meetings in the conference room. It kept the office pure, he said, free from the anger that lingered even after people like Mr. Walker had left. But I worked in a shared workspace, and someone had already reserved it, which meant I needed to put my request in tonight for our next appointment. With Walker gone, the flash of pride I'd just felt moments ago was eclipsed by a deep-seated irritation. One day, I wouldn't need to take clients like this, but I wasn't there yet. No matter what Harold said about starting picky and staying picky, my bills had their own plans, and right now, I needed all the income I could get. Enough that I held my tongue and my breath, and cursed into a glass of kombucha I pretended was whiskey every night before getting up the next morning and doing it again. A soft chuckle drew my attention and I looked up. "Sup, lady?" Fiona, my Fenny 460 diva and receptionist for all the companies that worked here, meaning she basically ran the place and everyone in it, sauntered in and draped herself in the seat Mr. Walker had abandoned. "I don't know why you even took that client. You knew he was going to be a hot mess when you met him." Fiona and I lived in the same complex. She'd told me about the space when I first launched on my own and got me in mad cheap. Usually she was all business. Sometimes she was like this. I huffed. Something, beggars, choosers." She rolled her eyes while I slumped in my seat and breathed out. "What's going on?" "Harold called. Wants you to call him ASAP." My heart dropped, straight to the soles of my feet, and burrowed itself in the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?